Are home prices in Sacramento headed for a crash, or will the market hold steady in 2025?
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
The last thing you want to see is for home prices to decrease right after you buy a house. I get it, no one wants that to happen. So, whether you're a first-time home buyer, an investor, or just curious about what's going to happen in the Sacramento real estate market, then this video is for you. I'll walk you through the current trends and data we're seeing today so we can gauge which direction we are headed. With that said, I have a lot to share in today's video, and let's begin. To provide some context about what's happening right now regarding home prices, let's have a look what's happening at the national level for the nation as a whole, I should say. So according to Zillow, US home prices are up by 2.6% compared to 12 months ago. So on a national level, we're up by 2.6%. Now, obviously, this is going to vary quite a bit depending on the location, right? So much of the South, for example, are experiencing decreases in home prices due to an increase or an influx of new supply in the market, and of course, a huge increase of housing inventory. So for example, Austin, Texas is down 3.2%, New Orleans down by 1.4%. We're also seeing big declines in Florida as well. In contrast, much of the Northeast is experiencing big increases due to a lack of houses for sale. Hartford, Connecticut, for example, up by 6.5%. Now, here's something I found to be really interesting, and this is according to Resi Club. They look at Zillow's home value index from December this last year compared to December of 23. So obviously, the greater Sacramento area was a pandemic boomtown. We had a ton of people reach out to us, and we helped them buy houses here right after the onset of COVID. So other cities that were also pandemic boomtowns are actually not experiencing the gains in home prices like we're seeing here in Sacramento. So for example, Phoenix, Arizona is down by 0.4%. Denver is only up by 0.8%. And also looking at Houston, only up by 0.6%. Dallas down by 0.4%. And again, Houston is down by 3.2%. And lastly, another pandemic boomtown is, of course, Nashville, Tennessee. Prices have increased by 1.7% there. In contrast, looking at the greater Sacramento area, including Roseville and Folsom, that's basically like a 15 to 20 minute drive from Sacramento, we're up by 2.1%. More or less in line with the national average, up by 2.6%. So you may be asking yourself, why are these fluctuations so great? And the answer to that, in simple terms, is inventory. So on a national level, inventory is up by 24.6% this January compared to January of 2024. However, inventory is still way down compared to pre-COVID levels. So for example, inventory is down by 25.3% compared to January of 2019. Here's a really good image looking at inventory levels going back to the year of 2017 based on data from Realtor.com. Here we are right now, January of 2025. Higher compared to the past several years, but still lacking behind pre-COVID levels. We should have around 1 to around 1.1 million houses for sale. Now we have slightly over 800,000. And obviously this is going to vary by the metro, but also the state as well. So looking at inventory this January compared to January of 2019, we have a huge increase in supply in Texas and Florida. We also have more inventory in Colorado as well. In contrast, in California, we're down by 31% from 2019. And again, that's a bigger decline compared to the national average, down by 25%. Now, here's something really crazy, just to kind of explain Texas, Florida versus California, and then we'll talk about the metros as well. Look at Texas, January, nearly 103,000 houses for sale, the highest January numbers since, keywords here, at least January of 2017. The same goes for Florida, 157,000 houses for sale, well above any January since January of 2017 at least. And in contrast, California, we have around 48,000 houses for sale, which is actually less than 2020, 19, 18, as well as 2017. Let's also have a look at how each of the metros fared over the past 6 years as well. Again, we're seeing big increases of inventory in the South. Austin, Texas is up by 16%. Punta Gorda, Florida up by 70%. New Orleans up by 20%. Obviously, a lack of housing supply in the Northeast. So for example, Hartford, Connecticut's down 80% over the past 6 years. If I were to zoom in to Sacramento, the greater Sacramento area, we're down by 35%, quite a bit lower compared to the national average, down by 25%. Now, speaking of pandemic boom towns, this decrease of 35% is obviously way different compared to the 19% increase they're seeing in the greater Denver market. Also in Phoenix, Arizona, they're only down by 8.3%. Las Vegas down by 17%. Zooming back out again, Nashville, Tennessee, another pandemic boomtown, they're down by 5.6%. Whereas the Dallas-Fort Worth area is up by 12.8%, and of course, Houston is only down by 0.8%. So a lot more inventory in the South compared to what we're seeing here in the greater Sacramento area. Here's a different way to look at this, looking at inventory on a national level. Around 830,000 houses for sale, higher compared to past several years, but still lagging behind pre-COVID levels when we should have around 1 to 1.1 million houses for sale. In the greater Sacramento area, though, we have around 2,800 houses for sale, higher compared to last year, a little bit higher compared to the same time frame in January of 2023, but obviously way higher compared to 22 and 21, but still lagging behind pre-COVID levels. Just for comparison's sake, let's look at Austin, Texas. They have around 7,500 houses for sale, higher than any other January since, keywords here again, at least January of 2017. And of course, this is one of the main reasons why prices are down year over year, whereas in Sacramento, we're actually up. Same goes for the Denver market as well. They have around 6,500 houses for sale as of January this year, the highest January levels since at least January of 2017. Let's also have a look at Zillow's housing market forecast through December of 2025. Obviously, this is kind of like throwing darts blindfolded, and some of these things I actually do not agree with them regarding. So for example, Punta Gorda, Florida, they're predicting that home values will rise by 2.6%. How is that even possible where inventory is up greatly compared to 2019? Anyways, they're expecting that home values will increase quite a bit in Florida and also for much of the Northeast as well. Now looking at the pandemic boom towns, Phoenix, they're predicting that home values will rise by 3.1%. Denver, a small gain up by 0.6%. Nashville, Tennessee up by 3.2%. And Sacramento up by 0.6% over the next 12 months. Let's also have a look at this migration map from Redfin as well. If you guys probably all know that there's this migration out of California into other states, right? And California leads the nation for people looking to move out of or move to a different state. But Sacramento is this outlier though. It says of all major US metros, Sacramento was the most searched for destination amongst home buyers looking to relocate between November of 24 through January of 2025. So much so, in fact, is that Sacramento leads the nation by far for people who are searching for a house for sale in an area outside of their current location. Sacramento, the net inflow was 7,700 people searching for houses there. After that was Phoenix, Arizona at 4,700. And the list goes down here: Cape Coral, Florida, Las Vegas, Sarasota, Florida, etc. But Sacramento led the nation by far for the most people looking for a house to buy there who don't currently live there. In contrast, the top 10 areas people are looking to move from is Los Angeles, New York, and San Francisco. And coincidentally, San Francisco is the top metro in which people are looking to move to Sacramento. Around 13,000 is a net inflow into Sacramento from San Francisco. Then we have Los Angeles and Fresno, California. Also looking at data from Redfin as well, based on the median sold price in Sacramento region, we're at 485,000 as of the end of December. That's up by 7.2%. Also, we saw a big increase in the amount of houses that sold this December over the past several years. It's up by 33.5% year over year. So home prices still increasing, but also a huge increase in the amount of houses that sold as well. Also, according to Redfin, Sacramento is very competitive. Homes sell in 29 days on average, and homes are getting multiple offers as well. Just can provide some boots on the ground. I actually just listed a home for sale a few days ago. My home seller, my client, accepted offer from a home buyer. Within 2 days on the market, we had 2 offers received, and we got a fantastic offer. So houses on average are selling very quickly. It's not as hot as it was during, just frankly speaking, it's not as hot as it was as, the spring home buying season of 2022. That housing market was absolutely insane. In our region, it was common to get 6 offers on average. There was one house that got 123, but it was on average around 6 offers. Right now, as of January of 2025, home sellers are getting around 1 to 2 offers, not 6 offers. So it's a lukewarm housing market, but not nearly as hot as it was right after the onset of COVID. And the data, go figure, kind of supports that. So as of December, the sale price to list price ratio is at 99.3%, which means on average, of all the houses that did close in December, they sold for 0.7 percentage points less than the seller's asking price. So they're only slightly less than the asking price. But let's just look at December of 2021. Back then, the ratio was 101.8%, which means homes on average sold for 1.8 percentage points over asking. Now they're selling for slightly below asking price right now. By the way, if you're curious, this is more or less in line with what we saw back in December of 2019 at 99.4%. So sale price to list price ratio right now is more or less the same compared to 2019. What we're also seeing right now as well is that around 4 out of every 10 houses for sale are selling for over the seller's asking price. That ratio is at 37.5%, which coincidentally is more or less the exact same percentage we saw back in December of 2019. Just for comparison's sake, look at these percentages here for Sacramento compared to Austin, Texas. That ratio, sale to list price ratio, 96.3%, which means on average, home sellers are selling their houses for about 4 percentage points less than their asking price. And also only about 1 out of every 10 houses are selling for over the seller's list price. To summarize, it's very challenging to predict what is actually going to happen in any market. However, given the lack of houses for sale in Sacramento, which has kept the market very competitive, as well as the influx of buyers who are looking to relocate here, I expect that home prices will continue to increase this year. If you are looking to buy though, I would not buy unless you have long-term time horizons. In other words, you do not plan to sell a house for at least 5 to 7 plus years. Also have a stable job and an emergency fund as well. With all those things in place, you should be able to ride out the ebbs and flows of the housing market. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. If you want to learn more about living in the greater Sacramento area, then check out this playlist. I have all the videos I made over the years regarding what's it like to live here in the greater Sacramento area. Of course, this is coming from someone who's lived here for 40 plus years. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.